Oh, from Shelby and Shosha and me in this wonderful day after the Passover meal. And it's really quiet here. There are not a lot of people. There's nobody on the river today. In fact, it's a very, very quiet Saturday after the Passover. A lot of people, you can see differences, how people dress, different styles. Very few people are out and about. And I've had a wonderful Seder at the Pride Center in Tel Aviv. Thank you so much for making it a memorable experience. Because actually, the whole idea, I feel, of reliving the coming out of Egypt is not to do exact the same thing people did in Poland, sorry, 200 years ago, or in Morocco, or whatever. The whole idea of traditions is, it can be something comforting because it repeats itself, but it can also be a prison. And isn't it wonderful to be able to look and examine what you're enslaved to every year and take like inventory? What is it that keeps you enslaved this year? What keeps you in bondage? What persons? What actions? Is it your job? Is it certain members of your family? Colleagues, neighbors, friends, memories from the past? Everybody has something that they're enslaved to and held in bondage and are not free. And on the one hand, we need good habits. We need those repetitions, rituals that keep us comforted and safe. I knew today I was getting up for my yoga practice, and that gives me great comfort. I know exactly what I'm going to be doing in the morning. I'm going to be having a cup of coffee and doing yoga session. And yes, I am addicted to caffeine. It's very good for me in some ways, very bad in others. So there's always a double-edged sword, isn't it? Habits can be a source of comfort. They can be healthy habits like exercising, doing yoga. And they can be unhealthy habits such as addictions to various toxins. So somehow we have to see the cost versus the gain. What is it that we gain out of the addiction? Does it destroy us, or does it help us function and bring good things? So with me, the coffee is the price I pay in order to come here, and I read research that caffeine actually helps you. So that's one topic. We can talk about coffee forever, but I read research that caffeine improves performance in gymnastics, in fitness. So if you take it that way and you drink enough water, it shouldn't be a problem, I think. The problem is when we have too rigid rules and we feel then we are in a prison. And when I was working in prison actually this past year, I realized that some people, they lived an existence without any rules. No rules of morality, no rules. They never got any rules at home perhaps, or is it society? They felt very detached, and therefore they just allowed themselves to break the law and harm other people, and themselves, I might add. So we do need a set of rules to keep us safe. And in the prison for the first time, some of them for the first time found themselves in a place where they have boundaries, and that's really important because boundaries help keep us safe, help keep other people safe, help maintain healthy boundaries between us and other people as well. I want to just mention the holidays. We have the burning of the Notre Dame Cathedral past week, and I just read an article about it, so I really feel the need to address it. In just a click, 200 million euros have been raised by millionaires in France. And at the moment, I think they reached 850 million euros. And well, I'm aware of the need to donate to a good cause. You know, our Passover meal yesterday at the Center of Pride was sponsored thanks to donations of generous people. And that allowed people to come in regardless of how much money they have. they could come and partake in this meal. And that's a very good part of religion or culture, that we are gathering together, and the donations allow us to eat together, to celebrate together. So whatever holiday you celebrate, donations make that happen. That's a good thing. But we have to remember the history. History is very good for us in order to realize where the ideas come from, and do we want to continue this tradition of paying for very, very, very expensive buildings that are supposed to be, you know, in France we're supposed to have a separation of religion and state, and actually same thing in Europe where I was living. They said, oh, we're neutral, but in fact they were not. Oh, there's somebody up and about today. Wonderful. Look at that. Oh, brave souls. This river is heavily polluted, and I really salute these people. A distraction. So getting back to the church, ask yourself whether 850 million euros wouldn't do better in helping with projects, how many social projects they could sponsor to make people come together, to enable people that don't have a possibility to gain education, to gain basic necessities, programs that help rehabilitate people that find themselves in difficult life situations and various addictions, various people have been abused, people have undergone various traumas. 850 million euros could have founded so many non-profit organizations that help people in our society who struggle with various problems and issues. So I think building a cathedral is like a crime. They did that in the Middle Ages in order to sustain the dominance of the church. It was a political power as well. When the church took taxation money from everyone, and they used the gargoyles, those monsters that are in the Notre Dame, in order to build fear that, oh, if you don't pay taxes to the church, you're going to burn in hell. And so they used a lot of pressure, psychological pressure through the church, instead of getting people to follow rules that are good for them. What they did is they had, the dog park is quite wild. We're not going to go, I think. There's fighting there. So many distractions in life. I wanted to say is the religion, when it's spiritual, when it helps people realize how important it is to be a good person and to think about other people and to live a good life where you don't abuse and use other people, where you don't steal, you don't murder, you don't take from somebody else anything that doesn't belong to you, then it's wonderful. It's really wonderful. But when religion uses people in order to gain wealth, when the Catholic Church has so much money and they live a life of luxury, that's not okay. For me, the religious leaders should be a role model of truly living the teachings of religion, which is, all religions say, be meek, be modest. None of them say live a luxurious life while other people don't have enough to eat. So let's ask ourselves whether it's not time to let this cathedral burn. It was a beautiful church, but it burned down. And maybe it is a sign that we need to burn down all those constructs that no longer serve us. The Middle Ages abused people in order to gain riches and wealth for the few. The French Revolution was absolutely about that. America was about that. And look at us, we're still going back to those Middle Ages. Donald Trump, that's Golden Towers, are in complete contrast to what America was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be about a place where people could be free and liberated from all European ideas of the rich, the few have the wealth and they have the opportunity, while those that are born, you're born into a fate. You're born into a caste system, a sort of a social system that if you are poor, you will always be poor. So isn't it time that we let the Notre Dame burn? Isn't it time that we use the money to help society become better and bridge the social gap? So that's my message for you during the holiday season. Peace, light, and love from us here in the Holy Land. And let's make it holy by acting as holy people and not succumb to this golden calf, this rich, wealthy construct. Because we don't need a big cathedral to worship. We don't need a big synagogue or mosque. We need the sky and the earth and the nature and our loved ones. That's what we need.